are bus bound here, just outside of Houston, and we are going through a town called Katy, Texas, which is the fastest growing city in the country this year, and it is just outside of Houston. And they have water in Katy. At least you have the tower. They certainly have the freeway structure out here now. I'm coming back from Dallas, where I spent the past, I'm coming back from, I'm coming back from Houston, or Austin. Coming back from Austin, where I just saw the iHeart Festival. The radio was good. The radio festival was good. The Wi-Fi on the Greyhound bus though has been miserable. Heading both to Austin and now back to Houston. Anyway. As you can see, all roads lead to Houston. And soon, everything will lead to Katy. All right, we are pulling away from Harrisburg. From the Greyhound station here in downtown, and we are headed to Baltimore. Why not Hershey? Well, we're headed to Baltimore because we never made it to Hershey. That put the capper on the trip here to Harrisburg. 2 buses to Hershey here never showed Saturday night because there is no bus transportation to Hershey 15 miles away on a Sunday. So 2 buses never showed, and so I was stuck in, I've been stuck in Hershey Saturday night, Sunday, the day of the concert. $30 ticket down the drain. I made up for it by spending my $30 on booze and day drinking the past 2 days away. So it's hey, I said it was the reason for day drinking, and when in Rome. We never made it to Hershey, and so now we're headed to Baltimore and see what the Baltimoreans do. and then who knows. That'll definitely take up the rest of this month of September, simply because I have no more money to travel anywhere else in case of another emergency or complete pitfall, if you will. So, we'll see what Baltimore has to offer. There's 2 weeks left in the month, and they have professional sports teams there, and it's probably more expensive to live there. But we'll see. It's into the country once more here, and we'll see what's up the road. This is coming off the red line from downtown to the park and ride, and then the bus number 8 headed to the gym for shower. Looky there, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Beautiful. You got the Astrodome on the right, the past, and you got NRG Stadium on the left. It's all part of the park up there. There's a whole host of buildings there. But the Astrodome, NRG Stadium. Off in the distance, downtown Houston. This is Thomas Road, just outside of Central Avenue, downtown Phoenix. When I left here 3 years ago, all these places were boarded up, shut down, closed up. The poles in these apartment complexes were green. Graffiti was on the walls. And everything was closed down or closing down or for sale. As you can see, times have changed here, and Thomas Road here seems to reflect the prosperity that's been Maricopa County over the last 3 years. We have just finished, oh, there's City Hall, look at that. We have just finished snack, I guess, at Birmingham. I made the mistake of thinking it was was going to be lunch, but lunch I guess was some Tupelo, and so but I had a fresh bag of crunchy Cheetos and honey bun and Dr. Pepper, and I'm good now until late tomorrow, I guess. Downtown Birmingham. As we head back for the freeway. It looks as congested as a lot of other major cities on a Saturday afternoon. Alabama, ranked number 1, is currently playing, which could be the reason why there's like no one around, but maybe a Johnny Cash lingering here or there. But that's about it. The place looks pretty deserted. Alabama's, I think, in Huntsville. I think that's where they play. They're playing at home today, so they're ranked number 1, and so I think that's where all the sportsmen are. Bound for Atlanta. Ready for takeoff. Alright, just outside of San Antonio. We're stuck in traffic. Cars everywhere. And we are on the bus. We've gotten maybe a quarter of a mile in the last half hour. And it must be an accident because the traffic into the city is moving quite nicely at this hour. About 8 a.m. here. Headed to El Paso for no other reason than it's closest thing that I recognize on the map and that Greyhound goes to. Headed eventually into New Mexico, then Arizona, and then maybe headed north to Telluride. See where I'm headed. Anyways, the bucket list is done. Flagstaff, just out of Flagstaff. Stopping there. Arizona. Okay. We left Phoenix about 3 hours ago, and it was about 100 degrees. Just finished at the rest stop here in Flagstaff. Could have been more than 75, 80 degrees. Great thing about Arizona is that it has many different types of climates. You could go swimming and in the morning and go skiing in the afternoon, they say. It's good PR, but it's true. New Mexico bound.
Your paper when you get to and it's got your brand.
The ride into Hartford I missed when I came in by Greyhound that I always regretted. Local bus now. Yeah, I got my Skyline. We're coming in from the east, I think. Pretty nice. Not Pittsburgh. On the Fort Pitt tunnels. It's kind of nice.
New York Times called this the greatest entrance to any city in the country. We are in the Fort Pitt tunnels, and we are headed into downtown Pittsburgh. Rush hour here. Rolling out of the Greyhound garage, the station here in Pittsburgh, PA. This is kind of a Pitt, Ohio thing going on with me this week. I've long wanted to do this in the last 4 years. When I was in the region here last, I couldn't find a bus that would go to Indiana, PA. I couldn't find a bus out of anywhere, either somewhere out of Ohio or out of Pittsburgh. And so now I got the opportunity, and it has availed itself. And now finally, I'm going to get back to alma mater, Indiana, in Indiana University of Pennsylvania, where I spent a year there getting an education after high school here outside of Pittsburgh. It's been a few years, to say the least. Also, Indiana has posed other problems for me that I don't think I've encountered, aside from transportation, just getting there. From what I could tell, there might also be hygiene problems, because I don't see a Planet Fitness anywhere around there that I could use. That seems to be problematic. Water may be an issue. Of course, I'm gonna find out when I get there, but might have to go old school. Of course, there's no shelters there. Any shelters there are for women and children, I'm sure. But as for men, it's just not there. Which is no problem. It's 70 degrees tonight. So I'm headed into the hills, so to speak. This mountain man of the country. And well, I'm really looking forward to it, and have been looking forward to it for a long time. There's problems that I really don't want to contend with, that I might have to kind of contend with, but we'll see. We're leaving Pittsburgh now, about an hour and a half. I'll be in downtown Indiana, Pennsylvania. We are coming into Little Rock, Arkansas. Bennington Library off to the right there. And right ahead of us, somewhere should be Little Rock. Over there is the Verizon Arena. And here is Little Rock. Must say I was very impressed riding through Hot Springs, which, by the way, was the boyhood home of Bill Clinton. Yes. So,
Okay, the Little Rock Station. I will be here 10 minutes. Now there will be, well, there should be new passengers to board, so if you come back, or you might come back and find someone in your seat.
and we just made a stop for minutes in the Union Station at Hartford. And you know, just something circling around the city and then coming into Union Station, it just stayed in my mind. So, I think it was after Boston, I headed here in January 18, I think. And I thought I'd give, Connecticut a look. I've never been here. I knew nothing about Connecticut, but just something about Hartford stuck in my mind. And so spent 18 in Hartford. And now that the teen years, I hope, are behind the world, we can get down to some sort of reality and some sort of business in making somewhere in Connecticut my home instead of a tour stop along the road of America. Okay. So touchdown. It is January 7th. Mom, I'm in Connecticut.